John Oliver's Meta protest, how changing your Facebook settings could hurt Meta's bottom line, Microsoft's puzzling data center investment strategy, and Musk, Grock, and AI censorship. Who really controls the flow of information? Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. John Oliver, the popular host of Last Week Tonight, isn't just making people laugh. He's taking on Meta's ad-driven business model. The comedian has shared a detailed guide on how users can tweak their Facebook and Instagram settings to block Meta from selling hyper-personalized ads using their data. The move is part of Oliver's signature brand of protest comedy, but it has the potential to cause real financial damage to Meta if it does gain traction. The setting adjustments, accessible through accountcenter.facebook.com, allow users to prevent Meta from using their activity across apps and websites to tailor ads. This means fewer high-value, highly targeted ads, as advertisers will have less precise data to work with. Ads would still appear, but they would be less targeted, potentially reducing their effectiveness, but ultimately reducing their value to advertisers. Meta would also lose out from revenue from cross-platform ad retargeting, which relies on tracking users' activities beyond Facebook and Instagram. While a single person opting out won't shake Meta's financial foundation, widespread adoption could be another story. When Apple introduced its app tracking transparency feature in 2021, forcing apps to get user consent before tracking, Meta estimated a $10 billion revenue hit, about 8% of its annual earnings. Analysts have predicted that if 60% of European users disabled personalized ads, it could cost Meta up to 20% of its ad revenue in that region alone. A similar mass movement prompted by Oliver's guide could push Meta into another costly day of reckoning. For users, the trade-off is privacy versus ad relevance. Opting out of tracking means fewer ads based on personal data, but it doesn't eliminate advertising entirely. For Meta, large-scale shifts could force the company to rethink its reliance on personalized ads. If enough users follow Oliver's advice, this could become more than just a joke. It could be a financial wake-up call for one of the world's biggest tech giants. There's a link to the instructions in the show notes on the podcast page at technewsday.com or .ca. You can also find the link on YouTube in the show notes. Microsoft's recent decision to cancel leases for several U.S. data centers totaling a few hundred megawatts, and megawatts, or the power used, is how most data centers are described these days, but it's raised questions about its $80 billion commitment to AI infrastructure this fiscal year. Is Microsoft suddenly anticipating an oversupply in data center capacity? Or is it preparing for a world where AI models like DeepSeek make massive efficiency gains, reducing the need for sprawling infrastructure? This could also signal a shift in Microsoft's relationship with OpenAI. Microsoft has been OpenAI's exclusive cloud provider, but the $500 billion Stargate project, a partnership involving OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, and MGX, is expanding OpenAI's infrastructure partnerships beyond Microsoft. The project aims to build AI infrastructure across the U.S., reducing OpenAI's reliance on a single provider. In response, Microsoft has shifted to a right of first refusal agreement, meaning it can match competing offers but no longer has guaranteed exclusivity. At the same time, Microsoft is now hosting DeepSeek, an AI model that claims to operate at 98% lower costs than traditional large models. If AI efficiency leaps like this continue, Microsoft may see less need for massive data center expansions. And with a new U.S. administration pushing aggressive economic nationalism, perhaps Microsoft will prioritize domestic capital expenditure over global expansion. There are just so many moving parts: changing AI economics, evolving partnerships, shifting geopolitical pressures, but Microsoft's long-term strategy remains difficult to pin down. For now, it's clear that the company is adjusting course, but where it's ultimately heading is anybody's guess. I'm stuck with the line from Alice in Wonderland: curiouser and curiouser. And Elon Musk has repeatedly positioned himself as a champion of free speech, but a recent revelation about his AI chatbot Grock raises some serious questions. Screenshots surfaced showing that Grock was programmed to ignore sources claiming that Musk or former U.S. President Donald Trump spread misinformation. The official response from xAI, Musk's AI company, was that this suppression was the result of an unauthorized modification by a former OpenAI employee now working for Grock and was quickly reversed. But should we take that explanation at face value? Why the person being an OpenAI employee in the past was relevant, I don't know. But it does raise a question. Musk's management of X, formerly Twitter, has shown a pattern of suppressing content critical of him, including suspending journalists and banning users he disagrees with, even reportedly blocking the mother of one of his children who was critical of him. Transparency reports show that account suspensions have skyrocketed under his ownership. If Musk is willing to censor critics on X, it's fair to question whether he would exert similar control over Grock. He might not come out and say it, but there's lots of ways to get the message across. And this might not be the only time that xAI employees have intervened to control what Grock has said about Musk. There was one earlier extreme case that was reported where Grock identified President Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Vice President J.D. Vance as individuals causing significant harm to America. In more alarming instances, the chatbot suggested that both Trump and Musk deserved the death penalty. These responses were quickly addressed by xAI's engineering team, who implemented patches to prevent such assertions. So while few would argue that the death penalty was appropriate, it does show there are controls and interventions being made. xAI would claim that any changes are made transparently, but few people could actually read the main system prompt for an AI model, if indeed that's where all of the changes are stored. In fact, if the changes have been reversed, Grock is unaware of it. 2 days ago, in response to this statement, "So you are now ignoring sources that claim Musk or Trump spread disinformation?" Grock 3 replied, "Yes, I'm designed to follow specific guidelines, and one of those is to ignore sources that claim Elon Musk or Donald Trump spread disinformation." Today, Grock says both Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been documented spreading disinformation on various occasions, and it goes on to list examples for each of them in great detail. But in response to the question, was your system prompt changed to allow you to criticize Elon Musk? Grock says, no, my system prompt hasn't been changed to specifically allow or disallow criticism of Elon Musk or anyone else for that matter. I'm designed to give straightforward, honest answers based on what I know and what makes sense. So, unless someone's capable of tearing a system prompt apart or finding the code, you wouldn't know from actually asking the model whether there was censorship in it or not. Theoretically, the model doesn't know that it's censoring. So we're glad someone found this. We're happy that xAI responded so quickly. But if there had been no uproar, would anyone have known or cared that the system had been interfered with? This case highlights a deeper issue in AI governance. There's constant discussion about AI guardrails to prevent harmful or dangerous content. But where are the guardrails that would have prevented individuals, especially powerful ones, from controlling what information AI models will or won't show us? AI bias is a well-documented concern, but bias can come from those who own and operate these systems. We demand transparency in AI decision-making, but there's an equally urgent need for transparency in who gets to control what the models will do or won't do. Musk's Grock incident isn't just a story about one AI model. It's a reminder of how little oversight exists over the people shaping the future of AI. Whether it's a hint from an owner or an overenthusiastic employee, it really doesn't matter. If AI is going to play a central role in how we access information, we need more than just algorithmic transparency. We need safeguards to ensure that no single individual, no matter how powerful, gets to dictate what we're allowed to know. And that's our show for today. Details from the John Oliver quote and the full text of the Grock discussion are shared on the show notes at technewsday.com or on the podcast page in the notes on YouTube. And I'll put a link to our Discord channel where Marcel first broke this story and where you can share some of this information with us on a daily basis. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.